Yeah. Hey. Well, yeah. Goonies never say die. You know what time it is. We got horror suspense. Listen, Kevin Trav digging in the bin. Dirty Dancing and Encino Man. You never know what you'll find in Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. He's got all these flicks from way back when. Marty McFly in the DeLorean. Gotta love the cage and whatever he's in. Face off Snake Guys, you know it's a win. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, let's begin.
All right, everyone, welcome to the podcast where we take your favorite movies, give you facts, tell you the plot, and there won't be any Uncle Face. He's not here, but it'll be me. I'm your host, Travis.
I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm your host, David.
Hey, Dave. I am so sorry, David. Travis has a thing going on with Uncle Doug right now, and
I know.
He should perhaps maybe be a little more professional now that we have another guest on, 2 guests in a row. You think he would get it together? I'm not trying to upset you, Travis. Look, I understand where you're coming from.
Too late. It sounds like you're taking sides again.
Okay, no, it's not taking sides.
Who's going to take my side?
It's just you're kind of embarrassing me a little bit in front of company. But David, it's so great to have you on.
Thank you very much.
At least I wore a shirt, Kevin.
I appreciate that, for one. I'm wearing 2
Thank
shirts. To be clear, the jury's still out for me on how I feel about Uncle Doug, or as Trav said, Uncle.
Uncle Face.
There
Okay.
you go.
Whoa.
There you
Whoa.
go. There you go.
Whoa.
Trying to keep it clean. But I Uncle Doug's really more of an acquaintance. I don't know him too terribly well, but I will say this: he did help me out in a tough time once. And lent me the season 6 DVD for Facts of Life, which really, it was a tough time, and I don't want to go into it too deeply, but let's just say it helped.
Oh, wow. I mean, first of all, it sounds like Uncle Doug's, maybe a more compassionate guy than people are currently thinking about him. Maybe, it sounds like he
still wants it back, but which is unfortunate because I don't know that I'm going to do that, but
yeah. I mean, that is a pretty sought after DVD collection,
Well, season 6 in particular.
Season 6, yeah, that's one of the better seasons, I think.
Jo was at her best that season, I thought. And Tootie, who could forget?
I can't. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Well, David, it's good that you at least have some experience with Uncle Doug that's positive.
I do.
Just between you and me. Hopefully Travis isn't listening too closely, but I'm really trying to bridge the gap between the two of them and bring them back together. So it's good that you've had
building
a
bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll have to see. Speaking of Tootie, I call him Utie.
Oh, nice. That's cute. I like that. So
I do. I mean, if the friendship sticks, so will that.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you know him from the flea market, or where'd you meet him at?
No. We never bumped into each other at the flea market. Like I said, it's a time in my life that I don't go into on podcasts. I go into it in all sorts of other media. Like
your autobiography, for example?
Just not podcasts. Books, YouTube, broadcast television, but I have to draw the line.
Well, speaking of YouTube, and hopefully changing the subject, because I see that vein in Travis's forehead starting to pop out. So you guys are both pretty big YouTube stars. I got Travis from Nest Friend and David from Man vs. Meeple. The Man vs. Meeple. I mean, we're talking board game royalty here.
Oh wow, board game royalty it sounds like a bit much. I'll feign humility for a second here and say we're not all that great, but probably better than everyone else. Yeah, we do a board game channel. We talk about board games and we have fun at the table.
Listen, I'll be honest. I've been at a board game convention when David walks in and this sort of like murmuring hush hits the room, right? And like just by instinct alone, people sort of begin to cow down a little bit. Like they hunch their shoulders and they avert their eyes to the ground, and there always seems to be a red carpet. I don't know where it comes from, but there always seems to be a red carpet. So we are just incredibly lucky to have him on the show.
Yeah, I think that comes from mostly my imagination, but I do like to think I like to imagine those scenes in a sort of a third person way. So like people are at the board game convention, they're talking, they're saying things like, "Oh, I wonder if board game royalty is going to be here." Then it like cuts to me like walking in with like, something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty humble.
Yeah, no, you are. That's one thing that everybody says about David. He's very, very humble. So, well, hey, man, we have a banger of a movie that we're covering today. We were just lucky enough when Uncle Doug chucked the last DVD at me. This one happened to be stuck to it, and I said, "This is the movie. I know David loves this one, so let me see if he's got the time to make it happen for us." Now we're talking about Weird Science. All right, released August 2nd, 1985. Director John Hughes, writers John Hughes, Al Feldstein, William M. Gaines, starring Anthony Michael Hall, Leon, I can never say his name, Mitchell Smith, Kelly LeBrock, and probably top 5 Bill Paxton performances right here. Bill Paxton is in this one too.
Get to see his butt.
You do. And just in a room with a 15-year-old boy, and I don't know how to feel about it, but we'll get to it. Now,
15-year-old boy / 24-year-old actor.
Exactly.
I think he was 30.
That's how we sleep at night.
I remember. Yeah, even better, right? Speaking of 15-year-old boys, David.
Oh boy.
You had a story about this particular film or a real kinship with it, and I was hoping you might share that with the listeners.
I do. I don't know exactly the cadence of this podcast, but I will tell you this is a formative year for me. 1985. First of all, 1985. Let's give a hats off to the year of movies that is 1985.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
We've got Goonies. We've got all sorts of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Teen Wolf came out the same year as Back to the Future. This is a crazy year for movies. And like, I think the person I am today is because of the movies of that year, including Weird Science, which I think at the time I probably watched more than any other movie. These were these movies that once they hit HBO, and this was, the era of HBO. By the way, I was 15 years old when I watched this movie. The guys in this movie, I related to Wyatt and Gary like you can't imagine. I wanted the Porsche. I wanted the Ferrari. You'd think I'd mention Kelly LeBrock. I wanted Kelly LeBrock. It was a movie I watched a lot. But I haven't watched it in a long time until recently when I watched it a couple more times.
Okay. All right. Now,
nice.
On this podcast, we have covered the movies of 1986 to death. So, Travis, maybe we need to get on a 1985 kick because it sounds like there were some bangers that came out that year for sure.
Yeah, 1985, formative year for me too. It was the year I was formed. I was actually born 6 days after the movie came out. So. Bit of some weird science there. Look at that. Very cool.
That is some weird science. I would want to determine whether or not you've got like the 23andMe connection to Kelly LeBrock, perhaps.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Wow.
If when she came on the scene, I came on the scene. That sounded more perverted than I meant.
Yeah,
but
that phrase came out a little wrong. So did that one, by the way.
I have a question, David. Like, what going forward into your life as an early or mid-teen, I guess I should say, like what lessons in life did you take away from Weird Science that you kind of applied in the outside world? Or was it all just wishes and dreams?
No,
I was horny for science. You can tell.
So it was. I was a little horny for science, but I think that's what you said.
Are you just saying that because he wears glasses and looks smart? Like you. What are you talking about, Travis?
I think
I profiled the man. Sure, yeah.
That's
fantasies and dreams. No, not just that. Because what I'll say this, and I don't know. I've been thinking about this all day. I didn't know how to put it into words, but what happens in this movie, aside from the fantastical aspects, you know, the sort of like teenage party, if you will, I was in that era of teenage parties. And while I didn't live in quite the area that Wyatt seems to live in, I live in a nice part of town near Indianapolis, but again, not quite like the mansion that Wyatt lived in. I mean, the kid had two beds in his bedroom, first of all, which I don't know how many people get 2 beds in their bedroom unless they had a brother. Do you think that was Chet's old bed? Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I experienced some parties like that, and I remember now looking back, watching it recently, I thought to myself, you know what? I remember individual nights of my life as a teenager that were like that formative, where you're just like, well, yeah. I remember an adventure one night that felt like it was a week long. Like, you know, crazy stuff happening. Not quite crazy like Weird Science crazy, but some pretty crazy stuff happening. Right. And I don't know if that stuff really just happens and the movie portrays it, or if the movie portrays those things and then kids just behave that way. I don't know, the chicken and egg sort of thing.
Yeah, you never know if art's imitating life or vice versa. But, you know, being that you had some experiences like Weird Science, it explains why you're so afraid of bikers. So I kind of get that now.
I do.
But well, speaking of connections, how about, Travis, that 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
All right. Yeah, I got 3 categories.
Which, by the way,
I got
David said was his favorite segment of the show, Travis.
It
So
is
I
my
can't even
favorite
dog
segment.
you.
Yeah. Try it, Kev. Yeah, no one cares about the hour and a half we spend on plot. It's this part of the show, okay? Now listen, I got
don't
3.
get cocky, all right?
I got 3 fun connections here. The first one I'm calling the leading lady connection. Last movie, obviously Little Shop of Horrors, we had Ellen Green. None of us big fan of her voice in that movie, but can't dispute her singing chops are pretty good, right? She was the leading lady. She was in Naked Gun 33 1/3 with a one Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen was in Wrongfully Accused with Kelly LeBrock, connecting Ellen Green to Kelly LeBrock. Look at that. And Kelly LeBrock wasn't in a lot of movies. She was in very few, actually.
You know what I'll say? I will say this, Travis. Now, I definitely dogged you on your 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, but you know me so well. You knew that if you just categorized it and gave it a title, like you're like a leading lady connection, it's like I'm in. Like I am such a sucker for that.
It's marketing.
You're so easy. You're so easy, Kevin. It's not taking me hardly any time at all to figure you out completely. Nerdy Guy connection coming up is the second one. Yeah. We got Rick Moranis. You remember Rick Moranis in that last movie there, Kevin? Yeah. Rick Moranis, he was in Ghostbusters with Harold Ramis, of course. Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis had an off-screen cameo appearance in National Lampoon's Vacation with Anthony Michael Hall, of course, playing Rusty.
Wow.
So, yeah. Harold Ramis was actually the voice of the... I think the thing that tells them that whatever Wally World is closed is on the speaker. It's Harold Ramis.
Nice. That's a deep cut,
I like it
too.
That is a deep cut.
Yeah. Thank you.
Almost like you had to look that up online or something.
Of course I did.
You use the internet for this, Travis?
Yep, and it's all 100% true. Don't
Dave,
even look into it.
we actually busted him using Chat GPT for this one time.
Oh, I remember. I did listen to that one. I heard that one.
That's really around the water cooler been a serious conversation lately.
That's just rumors Doug started. I can't handle it. Next is the bad guy connection.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve Martin, you know, he was a bad guy in the Little Shop of Horrors, right?
Yeah,
Kev? He was a bad guy.
Yeah, bad guy.
Yeah, he was in Leap of Faith with Philip Seymour Hoffman, R.I.P. And Philip Seymour Hoffman was in Twister with Bill Paxton. Plays Chet in this movie today. So there you go.
Man, all right. That's, you know what? Bad guy connection. I'm impressed.
Can I challenge Trav on this?
Oh, challenge.
Yeah.
I want to throw down, make what I'll call the Batman connection, because I have a couple in my head.
Oh, snap. If he one-ups you with Batman, dude, I'm going to have to give this to David. But let's see what he can do, all right? Let me not get ahead. Let me not put the Batman before the cart.
If only he would have just called the last one the Bad Man connection, because then the segue would have just been gorgeous.
That's my bad again.
Hey, why don't you just say that, Travis? And then
that was the Bad Man connection.
Oh, okay. So, Batman connection. Do you have one, Travis? Do you want me to lay it on you? I got a couple.
No, I don't have one.
All right. Do we all remember Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, we
in
do.
Yeah.
Two-Face.
Batman Forever. Arguably the best. No, I'm kidding. Not the best Batman movie.
It has its
but
moments.
But he was in Under Siege with Mr. Steven Seagal.
Oh.
And if I remember correctly, Steven Seagal was in Hard to Kill with his wife, Kelly LeBrock.
Dang.
Look at that.
That was. He
Look at
just
that.
did that on the fly. He didn't use no fancy internet, probably. He was doing some
That's what I'm
typing,
telling
not
you.
sure.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. I got another one that's even better, Batman connection.
Oh, lay it on us.
Anthony Michael Hall was in The Dark Knight. End of story.
Wait, he was?
He was a reporter, I think.
Yeah, he was a
Oh.
reporter.
Yo.
There you
Okay. All right, man. We might have to
Maybe
phone
watch a movie sometime, Kev.
I'm taking over the podcast.
Did Doug send this guy? Did Doug send this guy to put me in my place?
No.
Is this a Trojan horse situation?
No, it's
a Trojan meeple?
Okay, Travis, just settle down. Okay, you don't even know what a meeple is.
It sounds cute.
It's adorable.
Sometimes they are. Especially when you step on one, it's like a Lego. You know what I mean? Well,
It's hard to say meeple upset, by the way. It was tough.
it's like trying to slam a tent flap when you're mad leaving a tent.
When you're mad. Yeah.
Slamming a tent flap. Is that a euphemism?
Yeah, is that a euphemism, Kevin?
If you try hard enough, anything can be a euphemism. Now, dear sweet Travis, another thing that you do for this podcast. At some point, I'll do something for it, but let's just stick with you for a while. You go out into the wilds of the internet. You get out your machete. All right, you pack up your backpack. You get your spiked shoes on so you can climb up steep slopes of the internet, and you bring back reviews of the movie from the common people. Right? The people who've seen the movie and think that they know enough to type something on the internet. And I am hoping that you did it for this episode. Did you, Travis?
Yeah, I did it all in my underwear, if that's okay. I didn't use a machete. Or
I
put
don't
on
have a
pants,
shirt on.
but-
You're in your underwear. Don't worry about it.
No, I was. I got pants on now. I letterboxed it up. We got people who love it. For the most part, a lot of people who loved it. Also, pretty horny for science. We'll get to it. But we'll start off with a softball here. We got a 4.5 stars from Vive Le Filth back in 2023. It was truly amazing what you could do with home computers back in the 80s.
I want to comment on that. May I comment? I don't. Am I
please.
allowed to comment? Obviously, they're talking about making Kelly LeBrock, but what I'll say is the computer graphics on screen in that era in 1985. I can tell you, I didn't have my first personal computer till I went off to college in like 1988, 89. For someone to have, I don't know what he was doing that on. Was he doing that on a Commodore 64? I don't know that you can hack into, the government with a Commodore 64.
Yeah,
Was War Games before this, or was it after this?
Yeah, and I have questions about that hacking too. He's like, we need more power, so you hack to get more. Is he getting more electricity? Is he getting more computing power? What is he getting? I don't know, but he's going to make a lady woman. It's crazy. All right. Sorry, that part just blew my mind. And then like the hack. Okay, I'll wait till we get there. I'll wait till we get there.
Yeah, we got film coming. All right.
Okay.
But we got a bunch of people horny for science. I got like 5 in a row here that were just people being like 4.5 stars. She's so hot. 5 stars. Delicious. 5 stars. I love you, Lisa. Just people wanting it, dude. So yeah, the people who loved it didn't really honestly have a lot to say about the movie. They were just horny for Kelly LeBrock. And then one person made an exquisite point. This is a 4.5 star from Big J Dog back in first day of the year 2022. This is like a sexy drop dead Fred.
I
like that.
That
spoke
sounds
to me.
just like Big J Dog too.
Total Big J Dog energy there.
Always
Big J Dog.
trying to shoehorn in Drop Dead Fred.
Every time.
I
Every
think,
time with that guy.
to me, this movie is like horny Mary Poppins. Okay?
Yeah.
Because she
I saw
sort of
that one a lot,
shows
too.
up and like babysits the kids, but then she also kind of like does stuff. So like that's
You mean like a horny version of Mary Poppins, not the actual movie Horny Mary Poppins?
right. Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
that's from the that's from
that
our
one
other
is way
podcast, Uncle Doug's
Yeah.
Deep Cuts. Deep
Oh,
yeah.
Cuts.
And that one has a really fun comment section. You should check it out, Kev. I'll send you a link.
Okay,
later.
thanks, man.
Then we got people who are just kind of meh on it. There's always that group of people, middle of the road. You can't impress them. This is a 3.5 star from a one Frankenweenie back in 2022.
Solid.
Having to hear the same Oingo Boingo song repeatedly was the highlight of this movie.
That Oingo Boingo song is banging, though. That is a
pretty good
tune. That's you know what the kids call that? A bop.
That's a bop and a
Is
slap,
that what
I
they
think.
call it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, a
Jeez.
bop, a
I
slap, a banger.
I feel very old
twanger.
now.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
it's fine, though. But it's a good one. It's a good
It's a good one. This one ratchets up the intensity. This is a 2.5 star from Cinema Tyler, but way back in 2016. This is the type of movie they'd be making if the Germans won World War II. And I don't really understand that because they made this movie
Okay.
and the Germans did win World War II. But I don't know. There's just a lot to unpack with that one sentence.
Yeah, I don't. What is he? Is he?
Maybe it's like experimentation on people or something. I don't know.
I guess.
I've seen.
I have a hunch that this guy pulls that phrase out for a lot of his reviews.
Yeah.
It's a good theory.
Can I roll
I
back
think
to
he works for
Frankenweenie
Tesla
for a
now.
second? He might. Frankenweenie, does anyone else suspect that might just be a bad cover name for Danny Elfman? Like,
You heard it here, folks.
Danny. Well, now we can't have him on. All right, we got 3.5 stars from Tylot Lantern. I don't know. Look him up on LinkedIn there. This is from April of 2020. I can't even imagine how horny John Hughes must have been making this. And I just liked that someone was thinking about what John Hughes had to endure while making this movie. Just tons of rampant horniness. Poor guy.
It
it is a departure for him. I will say that. Like, this movie, Breakfast Club also came out this exact same year.
Yep.
And it seems bizarre that the same person made these two movies. This is such a sort of not super raunchy, but raunchy, coming of age sex romp sort of movie that has, dare I say, a heavy dash of Ghostbusters influence from the year prior.
right.
I think studios just felt like, oh, we can get away with complete nonsense and just make things happen. Like, it started with a computer, right? But then there's like lightning and red skies in this,
Yeah.
like, so what was really happening? I don't know that it was just processing power.
I have some thoughts on it, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. We got one more review. People that are low on it. We have to represent even the lowest among us. This is a 1 star from Kirsty. So glad I didn't watch this at the peak of my John Hughes teen phase because I genuinely think my world would have crashed down around me seeing how much of a disgrace this is.
Oh, wow. I bet Christy is a blast at parties.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kirsty.
Kirsty. I'm sorry. I bet Kirsty. Allie? Is it Kirsty Allie? Is just a
Rest in
blast
peace.
at party. You know what I hate? I hate fun. I hate fun movies with raunchy jokes. I just hate them.
Kirsty
It's dated in some ways, but not this
yeah.
back, Kirsty. Back down a little bit.
she'd be the first to correct you on her name pronunciation. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, look, it's a movie from the 80s. It involves obviously a very problematic relationship between an adult and two children. It has it has gay slurs in it, which is just
Yeah.
totally
It doesn't hold up for a few reasons, but for all the reasons that I liked it, it still holds up.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it very much is a product of its time. Anthony Michael Hall doing his like street vibe
That's
voice.
a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, or I was gonna say street jive, but I forgot that word for a minute. Like kind of voice. You're like, but it doesn't. Again. He is hilarious in that scene. I have to say, he's hilarious.
He is. I'd say the car bit goes on a little bit too long.
It
but
goes on a
yes.
long time.
It does.
It's like, is he going to do this voice for the rest of the movie?
Yeah, he does a solid 20 minutes of that bit, which is
does.
is part of it. So anyway, warnings if you've never seen this movie. It does have some stuff by today's standards that will make you cringe really hard. But
Yes.
you have to either don't watch it or you'll have to move past that somehow in whatever way makes sense best to you. But what makes the most sense to me is that Travis has gotten through all those preview reviews. Probably. I don't know. Maybe I'm interrupting
Yeah, they're done.
him.
We're done.
All right.
No, we're done.
Well, let's jump in on the plot. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, the plot's it's every boy's fantasy, right? These two nerds. This starts out with them getting embarrassed in front of a gymnasium full of girls, fantasizing about, a life of fantastical relationships with these women. And then that's exactly what they end up with. After, by the way, just going home and like being bored and going, hey, let's turn on the computer and try something. Where's your mom's bras?
I love that. Maybe it was the sisters. I don't know. I don't know if that's
true.
less creepy or more creepy.
She was off to school. They look more like mom bras to me. I don't want to get too deep into the bra debate, but
well, the opening scene is sure enough them standing in front of, kind of creeper style, watching the ladies' gym class where they're doing gymnastics. And what I love is that, like, Anthony Michael Hall's character, Gary Wallace, there with Wyatt Donnelly, Ian Mitchell Smith, that's how you say his name, are kind of ogling the girls there as they do these gymnastics moves. And Gary is like, hey, you know what? I've got this fantasy where we like go to the big city and we have a huge party and we shower with a girl. And it's literally the plot of the movie. He's just telling you the plot of the movie right at the beginning. And then my literal nightmare happens to these poor fellas. Two bullies roll up behind them. One played by Robert Downey Jr., and they just pants them and shout, hey, look at me, or something like that to the entire room full of girls. And I have such a nightmare about Robert Downey Jr. pulling my pants down.
Oh, that sounds fun to me.
Yeah,
I always thought it was weird that these guys have a fantasy, but they include one another in it. I think that's sweet,
That's real friendship.
Usually, when I have a fantasy, I'm not like, me and Kev are going to go down to Miami. It's usually just me, Kev.
Hold on a minute. I thought I was in all of your fantasies.
Nah, you usually pick me up at the airport after.
Oh, well, at least I'm included somehow.
After every fantasy?
After every fantasy, Kev's always there to take me home.
Even if you didn't travel anywhere, he's at the airport?
Yeah.
That's odd. That is bizarre.
It's we've got a one-of-a-kind relationship here, I'll tell you that. Well,
by the way, you didn't give roses to Robert Russler, the other guy there with Robert Downey Jr., who, honestly, I watched this movie and I was like, wait a minute, I don't think that guy's been in anything else. And honestly, of all the people in the movie, he's had one of the most productive careers from then until now. Now,
really?
not one of the most successful, but he's been working. He's been working.
You know what? He's stayed working after he pulled those poor boys' pants down. And this is the first time that we see teen boys in their underwear in the movie, and not the last. So moving into the opening credits, it's just lightning and actors' names and that banger Oingo Boingo song.
Great title card. We're gotten to where we're rating them here.
Yeah.
This was one of the best ones we've seen.
It really is. I have to say, when that came up the other day, I was like, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good looking for the time.
Yeah.
You know what?
Beats the hell out of Free Willy.
I think I'm good. Oh my God, Free Willy's the worst. I think I want to institute a new institution here on our podcast, Travis. Let's give title cards a numerical rating from here on out.
Okay.
1 being the worst, and let's say 5 being the best.
Oh, this is a 5 for me. This is a 5er. This is a great one.
Oh, wow. You going straight to a 5 on this one?
Oh, I loved it. It's a great title card. If I can get back there, look at that. That's just, it's gorgeous. Come on. You wouldn't paint that on the side of a building as vandalism and walk away proud.
Well,
that's amazing.
Could you describe it, Travis?
Yeah, it's good. We got a lightning weird. All right. Weird's coming in all, etchy and scraggled like a lightning bolt shooting through it. And then you got science, which is, kind of got a 3D look, like almost borderline lenticular. It's shiny around the edges. Really hard to, embossed maybe, hard to describe over the audio. Google it at home. And appreciate it.
Yeah, I have to say, it is, honestly, as I'm looking at here on screen, this looks like, I would imagine this was touched up or redone in present day, because I can't imagine a movie title card looking as clean as this does. This looks, just to give a further description for those of you listening at home, imagine the coolest possible video arcade ever, and this is the neon sign sitting out in front of it. Like, in a fantasy world, this would be the arcade I would live at for the rest of my life.
Man.
Well said.
What numeric value would you give it, though? Like,
numeric value? I have to say, And I'm just going to consider my own sort of variables here because as movie logos go, as it relates to them being sort of traditional logos, this is right up there. I would give it a 5 too. Because movies don't really have logos anymore, right? Like if you think of like more modern movies, it's just text. It reminds me of one of my favorite bits on Saturday Night Live, the Papyrus skit about Avatar. Like Avatar was just the word Avatar in papyrus font.
All that money on that movie, and he just used the font. I was at a 3 on this. I'll be honest.
Cool.
I was kind of a little down on. I mean, it was about a little above average. All right, 2.5 would be an average. Okay, so it's a little above average. But then David said the thing about the arcade, and I said that's absolutely right. So I'm going to come in at a 4 on this one.
Nice,
it's a 4.
I like it.
All right. So we have
I'm going to listen to the podcast a lot more now because I want to hear these ratings for sure going forward.
To be fair, we come up with stuff and then we never do it again. But maybe this is going to be one that sticks around because I
put it in the sheet.
Put it on the sheet. Okay, I'm going to write down. Okay. Great.
Yeah, because I want to understand how you like. What's a 5? What's a 1? You know, I want to hear what kind of like defines the scale.
I feel like we might want to drop a 0 in there too, because I think Free Willy is probably the worst.
that's.
You know what? I have to admit, I don't even remember what Free Willy looked like. But not as much as you guys have talked about it in the last 5 minutes, I'm going to have to look it up.
Pretty bad.
It's the worst. Well, jumping back into that plot, we end up after the theme, we end up at Wyatt's house, and we get some exposition here. Look, it's a teen comedy. Them parents got to be out of town for the weekend. There ain't no way that they can be there for the hijinks and the shenanigans that are going to occur. And I also love that Gary, Anthony Michael Hall's character, is shaving. He has no facial hair to begin with.
No facial hair.
But he's shaving in this scene. And Wyatt's like, hey, don't make a mess in there. And it's just devastated. Like, it looks like a shaving cream bomb went off there. And then there's just dental floss. Inexplicably, there's dental floss tossed into it. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think there's even a little, like, there's hints of blood in the sink. Like, that's super disturbing.
Well, we find out that Gary's staying over for the weekend. You know, they have a very I don't know, what do you want to call their relationship? Very codependent, let's say, relationship with each other, right?
That's fair.
We also find out that Chet, we get a little hint of who Chet might be. He's the big brother character, and he's supposed to be in charge for the weekend, and that's why they were able to be there without any parents around. And so they're chowing down on a few snacks, and they're watching the film Frankenstein. And this, after staring around the room and seeing this fancy, I don't know, let's say Commodore 64 computer, because I don't know. Oh, actually, this is a factoid about this movie. John Hughes named Lisa after the Apple Lisa computer, is who she was named after.
Oh,
but
wow.
it's not actually an Apple Lisa. It's some other computer. But anyway, he sees this computer, and he has the brainwave to, in fact, make a lady woman.
As all good ideas come to you right in the throes of a Bride of Frankenstein rewatch.
Oh, yeah.
We've all had it.
And one of the longest slow zooms into Michael Anthony Hall's eyes I've ever seen.
Yeah, it takes him a while to come up with this. He's not a swift kid, all right? So it just took him a minute. And he says to, well, actually, there's a little misunderstanding there first, because Wyatt's like, I don't want to dig up any dead women. He's like, no. No, it's all on the computer. We're just going to do it on the computer. And so
what a fun movie that would be, though.
Oh, yeah. And mildly less appropriate than this one.
Yeah, mildly. Yeah, just a little bit. Well, they they start a simulation. Okay, guys, it's two teenage boys, and they want to build a computer simulation of a woman. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How do they start it?
Well, I don't know if this is how they started, but there were definitely some Playboy magazines involved.
Kinda. They start by designing the Travis, what's that word that you use for the chest region of a young lady?
Oh, of course.
The breasticle?
Yeah, I have to say, hats off to them for being respectful and, class acts. They're class acts of teenage boys, I would say.
Right. They don't go too far with it. They, tasteful.
Yes, exactly.
In a sense. Yeah, I do. I admire a guy that wants, a primo body, but also the brain of David Lee Roth and Albert Einstein. That's
Right.
once I break through the flesh and bone, I really just want to be making love to two men, deep down.
I want erotic David Lee Roth. That's what I want.
Horny Einstein giving me black hole theories and relativity.
Who's really good at chess. That's what we all deep down we really, really want.
Isn't erotic David Lee Roth just David Lee Roth?
Right?
Yeah, but it sounds nice to put the erotic at the beginning. You know?
That's fair. You don't want to take it for granted.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue. You know what I'm saying? But so they do in fact start this simulation. They realize that they need more power to really make the simulation work. So they hack something vaguely government in order to get this power. I don't know if it's more electricity. I don't know how that makes the computer more powerful, or if they somehow hack into the mainframe and use its processing power. I don't know what they're doing, but it happens.
It definitely seems like a NORAD scenario, like War Games.
Right.
Of course, there's just one guy at a desk with some primo product placement, drinking, I think, maybe a Coke or a Pepsi. I'm not sure. I guess in that respect, it wasn't perfect product placement.
The best bit is to try to keep them out from hacking it. He just types access denied.
Got him.
Bulletproof.
Got him.
Bulletproof. Well, in fact,
The Russians will never take over.
They never. We've got them. Well, they eventually get in and they start loading in all kinds of different stuff to a scanner. I didn't know scanners existed in the 80s.
It looked more like a shredder.
It
looked more like a shredder.
Scanners. Yeah, it did look like a paper shredder. They hook up a doll to some electrodes, and they've got bras on their head, and they're doing some sort of seance around it. There's a whole lot of weird science going on here, but
Oh boy.
the key takeaway here is it begins to work. There's weird lightning outside. Dogs are laying down with cats. Things are exploding. The crock pot doesn't work anymore. Anthony Michael Hall tries to hit the computer to stop it, and his bat just shatters in his hands. All this crazy stuff's happening, and then it stops. And then the bathroom door, which has a sign on that says "I break for women," which is pretty funny, starts to do that, just like you said, David, that Ghostbusters bulge move.
That bulge,
of the door.
I gotta tell you, just to explain to everybody, the special effects going on here is everything you could have imagined from Ghostbusters or, say, Gremlins, all in this one scene. But that bulge, that is some of the best special effects I've seen in 1985. I don't know how they're doing that, but that door literally looks like it's bulging. This is a big, heavy wooden door.
Yeah, I bet it was a miniature.
Good stuff.
Maybe. I don't know. If I were doing it, I'd make it a miniature. But just like all good bulges, this thing explodes.
Okay.
And out walks Kelly LeBrock. Let me do it with the French accent. Was that French? I don't know what that was. Doesn't matter.
So.
Gentlemen, could you please describe this scene?
Oh, that's an unfair question.
Yeah, you're a little distracted by the actual scene, but if you could.
Kelly LeBrock standing in the doorway, they can hardly believe it. And also, by the way, this is one of many scenes where you see a little glimmer of a grin on the boys' faces that I believe is just too many takes with bloopers right before them happening. There's a lot of little smiles going on. And then very quickly, like any woman created out of nothing, they all jump in the shower together.
They do. She says,
I like her opening lines. What is it? What do you want to do to me, you little maniacs? Or something like
exactly. Or what do you want to do now, you little maniacs? Fantastic. And they want to take a shower with her. Apparently, she is objectively a very beautiful woman. We often drool on over the fellas on this podcast, but we like to drool over the ladies. Oh yeah, come on, man! How many times have we got thirsty over Patrick Swayze on this thing? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. What was I thinking? Of course. What, I black out? You're right. Yeah.
That's right. But she is an objectively beautiful woman. How did she ever marry Steven Seagal? One of the most objectively just he is like, when Chet gets turned into that thing, he is like that walking around in like an Aikido suit. Like he's just such dirt.
I mean, he wasn't always, but I assume he was always dirt, like a dirt human being at least. It didn't last too terribly long, their relationship. And then she kind of went dark out of Hollywood after, she divorced the guy in like the 90s or something.
Yeah, being married to Steven Seagal, I bet would do that to you.
That'll do it. It will.
Well, they do the thing that they said that they would first want to do, which is take a shower with her, and then the second thing they said they would want to do is to hit the town, to go downtown, and a spectacular thing. And so they're kind of getting their duds on.
Yeah, they both look like Beetlejuice somehow. I don't know how that worked out.
Yeah, really odd, right? He's wearing one of them's wearing Chet's jacket, and or it's Gary, and Wyatt says, "Don't get any BO on it, or Chet will kill me." Which I think is how do you? I mean, I understand
get
what
BO
is
on a
but-
thing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I think it can happen. The BO is transferable for sure. It's like a disease, if you will. I do like that they go from like wearing effectively what Ted Knight wore in Caddyshack to what I have to say, and I'll admit this now, as a 15-year-old boy watching this, those suits that they transform into, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was that cool. I wish I had suits like that.
I still wish I was that cool. Them suits are fly, dude. Because the kids say that now, they're fly.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Lisa, we find out she's just basically God. I don't know any other way to say it. She can they didn't just create a woman; they created a godlike creature. She can transmute reality to just fit her whims. It's wild, and she zaps up them. She uses this power to zap them up some nice clothes. Cool, love it. And they hop into her Cadillac, her pink caddy, and they head downtown. And
those powers must have been the David Lee Roth, you think?
Oh, at least the Cadillac, right? Like the rock and roll part of it, maybe. Well, they head downtown to a night spot that seems to be a real happening place. But when they open the door, it's just straight up the record scratch moment, like,
yeah. This is Animal House.
These guys.
Yeah, for sure. Although they move on from that pretty quickly. She's like, this is just the beginning of her encouragement for them, bringing them unwillingly into manhood.
Yes. And
that also sounded wrong.
Yeah, I was just going to glaze over it, but yeah, it really did. But they they get some fake IDs so that they'll be able to be in this place. As hilarious as any super bad McLovin fake ID you've ever seen. And they head on into the bar. Once they're in the bar, she encourages them to kind of go mingle. And immediately Wyatt goes to the bathroom and just sits on a man's lap in the toilet, and it's never explained further. We don't know what the follow-up of this. I don't know why he sat on the man's lap if he didn't know that man was in there pooping. I don't know what's going on, but that's exactly what happens.
A hilarious line delivery there, too, where he sits down and he's like, I think he says, like, well, shit.
Well, we jump back out, and Gary is making some friends at a table with Lisa, with some of the local folks from this bar. And they encourage him, nay, demand that he drink some hooch. That's alcohol, guys, if you're not cool.
Oh, okay.
And he says, okay, I'll see you in the ER, and just downs an entire glass of, I'm assuming, whiskey or scotch or something, and proceeds to kind of get a little drunk.
Yeah, and this is not the first time, or this is not the last time, rather, that one of these characters is very aggressive with alcohol in the movie. These characters will come back. But yeah, this sets up one of the funniest scenes coming up here before they leave the bar. It is one of my most quoted scenes of my life from this movie.
Whoa! All right. Well, let's get to it. Sure enough, they cut away for a bit just so that we know a little bit of time has passed, and they cut back into at the table. And this is where Gary's going to adopt his street jive jargon that he sort of does, but he's wearing like a zoot suit style fedora and smoking a cigar and talking about his lost love from 8th grade. And man, is this some comedy gold right here, David? Wouldn't you agree?
It absolutely is. And the line, I mean, this whole scene is something I quote, because once we start, we can't stop. But back in the day, and to this day, when someone says something like every night, I cannot help myself but say, every damn night? And then it just goes into on the telephone. And then he's like, what do you mean on the telephone? Yeah. Oh my gosh. This scene just cracks me up.
So good, so good. Well, he
I hope
pours-
I've never been that drunk, though. Truly, I hope.
Oh, no.
I hope somebody would drag me away if I ever got that far.
He does a pretty good job, honestly, for a kid. You know, this acting job. I have to say, hats off to Anthony Michael Hall in general, because he does quite the job. Great character in this movie.
Yeah, he absolutely like owns this scene. Like he just is such like, I don't want to say charisma, but just very like presentation forward, just like great performance. It's really funny. And so he kind of recounts this story, and as he's getting very animated, he falls over. and his boy's like, all right, you know, I get it. I get where we're at. So him and Lisa and Wyatt and Lisa kind of carry him out to the car.
That's usually where you when you arrive in my fantasies, Kev, to drag me out to the car after.
Is it usually a pink Cadillac or?
Sometimes.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Sometimes it's just horseback.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Period piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wear a lot of cravats, I imagine.
Can I mention, too, I don't know if you noticed, one of the guys sitting at the table there, the janitor from the Breakfast Club.
Oh, really?
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. Okay.
He's one of the, he must be a John Hughes buddy.
Yeah. Well,
Good catch.
they are head. Oh, by the way, everybody likes Anthony Michael Hall by the end of the night, or the character rather, Gary by the end of the night. He's kind of won everybody over with his stories of young love, trials, and tribulations. Well, they're in the car, kind of heading back home. Anthony Michael Hall's still doing his street jive voice.
Way too much. Way too much.
Way too.
At this
yeah.
point, it's like, all right, let's back off of that.
He is still wearing the hat and smoking the cigar a little bit, though, so I'll give it to him. They almost have a car accident, and that's kind of the. Lisa does tell Wyatt, like, hey, you're gonna have to stand up to your brother. Like he's gonna be a problem. Kind of again foreshadowing Chet. I think Chet gets more foreshadowing in this movie than I won't say that he deserves, but like. It's like
Voldemort almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It
they
is.
kind of build him up, you know.
I never realized that until I watched it the last two nights, and it just blew me away how much they were talking about Chet, and my memory of like, wait, when does Chet show up in this movie? Like, we've heard about him plenty.
He delivers, though. Bill Paxton,
Yes.
100% delivers. Well, sure enough, they get home and we get our first glimpse of Chet. Now, he has, just describing Bill Paxton in this role, he's got like a flat top haircut, and we found out he went to like military school or something. He's in college now. He's in his boxer shorts and like, you know, white tank top. And he comes like strolling down the stairs, giving Wyatt a hard time for coming in late. He grabs him, he whacks him on the head, and he essentially extorts like $175 out of his little brother so he doesn't tattle on him.
Yeah, a bizarre amount of money, by the way. It is one of the strangest $175. Not to mention the fact that, like, the fact that the two of these guys are brothers. If there's never been an argument for nature versus nurture, I don't know what it is, because they are polar opposites. I don't know how both of these people could be raised by the same parents.
Well,
That'd be over $500 in today's money. Nothing to sniff at. Let me tell you.
Yeah, well, you know, I was gonna say $175 back then was exactly how much a good flashlight set you back. So just in case you're wondering what
The good ones.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know why they couldn't play this all out at once, but anyway, Wyatt brings Gary upstairs, and Chet is now upstairs, still in his boxers and undershorts, and he sees that Gary is intoxicated, and so he decides to try to just make him puke. Just out of sheer meanness. So he's like talking about greasy pork sandwiches and blowing smoke in his face. And he just has the most demented look in his eyes, and you just cannot look away. He's that good.
Yeah, he looks like a character out of Full Metal Jacket, and he is incredibly demented. I think if my best guess would be that they have this scene after just after that last scene to establish that he can be bought off, but he still needs to be a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's no longer in the extortion mode, but he's still going to be an ass.
And even just character, even down to this touch and the way he opens the door to his room. He like turns around backwards, cigar in his mouth, and kicks it open. Just like slightly military, but also kind of goofy. It's fantastic. So that's done, and Gary is dropped off in the bedroom, presumably to sleep off his drunk. And at this point, Wyatt, I guess, goes downstairs to look for Lisa and tell her she can come in because Chet's gone to bed. And Lisa just appears behind him and starts making out with him. And it goes on. It goes on for a while, y'all.
Easy there, Mary Kay Letourneau. Come on.
Who's that?
Oh, I wish I had that reference off the top of my head.
I'll tell you when you're older, Kev.
Okay.
Before we get to the disturbing nature of this scene and the length of this scene, I will say this is another one of those moments when he turned around because he was just like looking out into his backyard, whispering for Lisa. But the moment he turns around, that actor has the look on his face like he's just been doing that kissing scene for about an hour and a half already.
And he's not inclined to want to stop anytime soon.
He's like, okay, take 73. I'm good.
Again, totally inappropriate on set, but
yes,
David, you made a good point that when we were 15, we're like, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be terrific. Not really understanding the implications, of course.
There was no 15-year-old boy watching this movie going, oh, come on now, that's a little inappropriate.
That's very inappropriate.
It just goes to show that we all evolve and mature. I mean, most of us, some of us more than others.
Yeah, Travis. We
Got
both get each other at the same time. I like it. Anyway, hop on horseback. Let's go somewhere. And also she is very clearly trying to seduce him as well. And she's like, "What are you thinking about?" He's like, "Women's gymnastics," which I love. Don't know
you
what.
Do?
I do love women's gymnastics. Yeah, the athleticism is incredible. But I also think the line is very fun. Whether they actually consummate the thing, I don't think so. It's kind of alluded to like he just fell asleep or something. He was tired or whatever. Well, the next morning, the fellas wake up and they think it was all a dream, right? They wake up, the room looks normal, nothing's in a disarray. And they're just like, oh, well, we must have been dreaming. And they think it's a little weird because they were in the same dream. Well, at this point, Wyatt stands up and he is wearing Lisa's underwear. And this up close shot made me uncomfortable. I'll tell you that.
He's like a swimmer. So I just think he's like a swimming outfit.
I guess so.
Like he's an Olympic swimmer.
And it's kind of, I know it's obviously played for laughs and just sensibilities are a little bit different now, but I was like, whoa! All
I could think of is at 15, not only at 15, at any age in my entire life would I never, ever agree to film a scene like that. Never. So
anyway, David, I'll see you
him.
at the next con. I'll bring my camera. Anyway, yeah, that was what happened, guys. Anyway, sorry, just thinking about David in his underwear. Hold on, let me get back to it. All right, I'm back. Now, Lisa then calls and says, "Hey, I'm making breakfast," or something along those lines, and then it all falls into place. They realize it's not been a dream. So, Wyatt gets downstairs first. He's like, "Lisa, could you please hide? Chet's, here." How Chet didn't hear her shouting through the house, I don't know, but he doesn't strike me as someone that's all that bright, so we can probably let that go. And Lisa's made this delicious breakfast, and she's like, "Fine, but you're going to have to deal with him at some point." And so she leaves the room. That's when Chet comes in and just steals my man's breakfast right out from under him. And then insults him for wearing lady underwear and says he's going to tattle on the parents and extorts a VCR out of this poor kid. You know what a VCR cost in 1985?
Oh,
$175. $175 is what it cost.
It's like the number 23.
It just keeps coming back.
It gets more awkward in the kitchen though. We're not done there.
Yeah, no, it does. He I haven't mentioned, but Chet's just wearing a towel in this scene. They just had a problem with him being in clothes for some reason. Maybe Bill Paxton did, and so he wants Wyatt to cover up so he's not wearing the underwear. So he just completely disrobes. You see the butt cheeks. You don't see the front. But I'm also like, he's on set with a 15-year-old kid. How is there a grown-up that was like, hey, maybe we should just shoot him from, I don't know, the small of his back up. Like, we can just take it for granted that his butt's out. But they're like, no, his butt's hilarious.
It was the Wild West, I imagine, back then. I don't think the idea of an intimacy coordinator did not exist in 1985 when they filmed Weird Science.
Nope, I imagine not. Well, that's kind of the end of that scene, and we cut to the mall, and the boys are kind of talking to a young lady named Sue that I think they go to school with is kind of the gist of it. And, they're kind of bragging. They're looking at perfume. She works behind the perfume counter and bragging about this 23-year-old woman that's their paramour, their lover, And that scene kind of cuts away. And then it cuts to Lisa in, I guess the Victoria's Secret or whatever the comparable was in 1985. And she's buying, leather underwear. And, she asks the sales clerk, would this turn on a 15-year-old boy? Yo!
A little weird.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that the sales clerk is looks like the woman out of the Norman Rockwell painting, with the farmer and his wife.
She's like, I'm just here for the paycheck, lady.
She doesn't work there. She doesn't work there.
There's got to be a button under the counter you push if you get asked that question, right? Like a guard comes in.
Yeah, you're like, somebody's going to stop this, right? No, nobody stops it. She gets the underwear. And we cut back to the boys. They're kind of sitting out in the little courtyard area. And we see the bullies from earlier, the ones that pants them. At your schools, there was pantsing. That's what some people called it. But did they also call it shanking at your school?
Like
that was when you get
stabbed?
Yeah, at my school, growing up, if you got pants, they didn't call it being pants. They called it being shanked.
You lived in the hard knocks.
No kidding.
I lived in a tough place, man. What can I say? So if anybody out there in the Discord, if your school they called it that, I would be interested to know if that was just like a phenomenon for just mine.
They didn't want it confused with all the stabbings that were going on at your school.
Maybe.
Yeah, it got confusing. It gets confusing.
Yeah.
It was, box cutters were big at my school. That's really the takeaway there. But the two bullies that had done that terrible act to them, or embarrassing act earlier, are kind of on a balcony above them, and then they throw an icy on the boys and embarrass them in front of a large group of people. And this is when we learn that Deb and Hilly, the two girls that the fellas have a crush on, are dating the two bullies. And I mean, to be fair, they're pretty handsome guys, and they try to be charming in their way. They do apologize because the girls didn't find it amusing that they did this. So the girls are contemplated breaking up with the bullies, but you know what? They don't make the best decision. They decide to stay with these two fellers. All right.
Yeah. That decision is also like a split second. In one moment, they're showing some moral fortitude and saying, you know what, enough with these guys. They're clowns, they're jerks. Mm-hmm. And then it takes those guys going, sorry. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, we're over it. Well, they kind of talk about hey, we won't have a social life if we break up with these guys. And when you're a teenager, having a social life is pretty important. I had a very robust social life playing Dungeons and Dragons when I was that age, so it was real super exciting. Anyway, and maybe Shadowrun, the tabletop RPG.
I'm surprised there
anyway,
wasn't
it was a great time.
D&D mixed into this movie a little bit. Maybe it's a little too analog.
Yeah, maybe it was in the height of the Satanic Panic too, right? So D&D was it was a dangerous thing. Well, as the bullies are going down the escalator, they see Lisa and they go habra 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 as she kind of rides by, and she gives them a little seductive look. Now I think she probably realizes these are the bullies, and so they ditch their girlfriends and just tongues wagging, jaws scraping the ground with just like a path of drool behind them, follow Lisa out to the parking lot, and that's when Lisa gets picked up by our heroes, Gary and Wyatt, in a Porsche, nonetheless.
Driven haphazardly onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, again, very haphazardly. Not to mention, all of a sudden, Anthony Michael Hall's character, Gary, is so calm, cool, and collected, and playing it off really well. I think the cool is starting to take effect.
Yeah. And this was a scene for me as a kid where I was like, if I could do that like all the kids that like picked on me and called me names, you know, man, I hope that guy's he's not doing good. My childhood bully, I saw him at the Dollar General a couple years ago, and I just let go of all that hate because things aren't good for him.
He's not doing good.
He's not doing good. But anyway,
Can we talk about
aside.
the awkward tonguing in the car?
Please, I never, as many times as I watched this as a kid, I have to admit, I'll just say it right now. My theory is that my eyes must have been on Kelly LeBrock's face as she was speaking, because I didn't notice until this last weekend that Anthony Michael Hall is licking the collar of her leather jacket and then awkwardly kissing like the side of her mouth.
It's hilarious. And you could tell she's kind of got like a smirk, like almost can't sell the moment because it's so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. The fact that they get close to breaking so many times is actually quite charming to me.
They apparently also considered, I think it was Robin Wright's pin, or Robin Wright, she's divorced now, and
really,
yeah, for this role, and one other actor, two other actors. They actually filmed. I can't remember the other actress's name. Actually filmed some scenes, but she just didn't work. They had offered it to Lisa Lebeck, or Lebeck, yeah,
Kelly LeBrock.
There it is. And
like
she
LeBrock Lesnar.
LeBrock Lesnar. That's the movie I want to see.
Oh yeah.
They apparently had offered it to her and she wasn't interested, and then they filmed some stuff with this other lady and they're like, "Nah, we really need you." She's like, "All right, fine, I'll do it." So anyway, I imagine she had a pretty good time. Well, they wrap up the awkward jacket licking scene, and the bullies are righteously jealous, and they head home. But before they do, Lisa tells the bullies, "Hey, there's a big party at Wyatt's house tonight, and everybody's coming." And she knows that these guys are going to go tell everybody there's a big party, right? So Wyatt's like, "Hey, I don't know about having this big party at my house." And she's like, "Look, I'm just trying to give you exactly what you want, okay? I'm trying to help make you happy."
Yeah,
now,
and help your social life. You need that.
But is that really the way to do it? Well, I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
It's before the internet. How else do you have a social life?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have to say, back to what I was saying earlier, you're kind of thrust into those situations, whether there's a Kelly LeBrock in your life or not. Like, whenever I found, and it was just, I can count on one hand when I was at parties like this. And never did they ever happen at my house? I don't think so. But yeah, you just find yourself into that situation and you're kind of like, you feel like these guys did. You're like, I don't know what's going on. And you can either buckle up and enjoy the ride or not.
Well, I guess they've at this point buckled up and at least they're going along for the ride. But Lisa tells Wyatt, "Okay, well, I'm going to go pick up Gary at his parents' house, and I'm really interested to meet them." And it's hard for me to describe Gary's house because it looks like they're in a living room, but there's like concrete walls in the background. And I don't know if he lives in a bunker. I'm not sure what the situation is, but it's an odd looking house. And I'm not judging anybody's domicile. Look, we all got to live where we got to live. You know, things are hard out there in them streets in 1985, but like, it's an odd looking place is what I'm saying. Like, I would expect someone who was really into philosophy and maybe smells package bombs to live in this house. That's all I'm saying. Okay. It's weird. It's underground. Now I'm going to let that go.
Thank you.
Well, it is a weird house. I agree. It looks like a basement, and just a little commentary on him and Wyatt's relationship. I mean, no wonder why he's spending the night at Wyatt's. Like, Wyatt lives in a friggin' mansion.
Yep.
And this house doesn't really even look like a house. Like, it looks like a garage right now. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, the only thing I can think is like maybe they finished out their basement except for that one wall, and it's like their little like rec lounge area or something. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Lisa is incredibly antagonistic towards Gary's parents, particularly Al, his plumber father, and to the point. Of course, Al's like, "Hey, you can't be in high school with them," and it keeps escalating. Lisa talks about poor Gary pleasuring himself.
Tossing off. He tosses off to magazines.
That must be a British term. I'd never heard that before. Is
I
that
had
British?
never heard it when I was a kid. I had never heard that. I think it is British. I'm not even familiar with what it means, but yeah.
I think it probably, and not to be too graphic, please, listeners, if this gets too graphic, plug your ears, but I think it mimics the motion, like you're sort of like tossing something, I think.
Oh, like a ring toss.
Yeah, like a ring
Yeah.
toss. So, I kind of thought maybe that
I
was
get it. We've all
But-
been there.
Well, none of us are English. Jesus, David. Sure enough, it continues to escalate until Lisa straight up pulls out a firearm and points it at Al so he can't call the police. That really escalated quickly. And she does like a whole Dirty Harry thing. This more than anything else made me really uncomfortable that Lisa is like literally pulling out guns and threatening people.
Yeah, I'm going to look up after we're done with the podcast here to see if anyone's like done effects on this scene where she just shoots him. Because like I imagine that exists. I imagine it does.
Well, she kind of zaps their brain, is what she ends up doing. And there's we may forget to mention it, but there's a running gag where essentially Al no longer remembers that he has a kid because she zapped his brain so hard. Well, they're riding back to Wyatt's, and Lisa, in the most terrifying way possible, by pulling the trigger of the gun and squirting water out of it, acknowledges that this very real looking pistol is actually a water pistol. I guess that's meant to soften the blow, but then later it ends up being a real gun. Yeah, we'll get there though. They end up back at Wyatt's house, and they're sort of discussing this party situation. They're doing a little bit, or at least Lisa is doing a bit of what I like to call pregame, and she's throwing back some shots of, I don't know, bourbon, tequila. She does a tequila shot later. And they hear a knock at the door, and when she opens the door, there are just, and it's so creepy, these kids just appear there. They don't hear any noise outside, and then they open the door, and like a horror movie, there's just hundreds of them outside cheering for a party.
If you see that many white people excited outside of a building, run.
No, it's not a good scene. I love the scene where they're running into the table full of, by the way, the hors d'oeuvres that are going on at this teenage party are top
incredible.
shelf. Like earlier when she was pre-gaming, I don't know if you noticed, there was a plate of brie sitting in front of them on the table. I don't know that any of these kids know what brie is. Maybe Wyatt. Maybe Wyatt comes from brie territory.
That's a Brie family.
His
It is a
family's
Brie
got Brie
family.
money for sure.
You get that Brie money. Yeah.
Some kids like David grew up with HBO money, and some kids grow up with Brie money, and I get picked on by an. It all works out in the end, guys. Well, the bullies actually show up to this huge party, and it's got kicked off. It's a rager, and we're like, where are the fellas? Surely they're enjoying their party. Nope, they're in the bathroom, and Wyatt be pooping.
Well, and not even taking his suit pants down. The bravery.
Isn't that
Yeah.
wild?
That's bold. It's bold.
He gets a little upset tummy.
Yeah, he does. He's Anthony Michael Hall's pacing back and forth. Lots of farting jokes going on. The attitude, like I said earlier, the coolness really starts to seep into Anthony Michael Hall's character, Gary, through the entire movie. I don't know if it was a conscious decision on his part, but he becomes cooler and cooler and cooler with just dashes of geekiness.
Yeah,
That's how I like to describe myself, by the way.
That's just hop
I
on
think
that
they-
horse, Travis.
I think they used Wyatt. Wyatt is clearly the sort of, more awkward, geekier.
Yeah.
But
the more relatable character.
He is the more relatable character, and that's why I think they kind of like pushed Lisa towards him more than Gary.
Mm.
And their dynamic works too. Like you've got to have the straight guy and the kind of more over the top character. You got to have it. So that odd couple connection really works. Well, they're in the bathroom. They wonder if Lisa's having fun. And then now the girls. Oh, there's also a scene with the bullies and that bar, the guy from the bar that forces alcohol on people. He gets very aggressive with alcohol again, and those bullies.
Yeah. Well, he got aggressive in making them use ice
Yes.
I guess that's the
Very
opposite, isn't
aggressive.
it?
Yeah.
It was their only real alternative based on what he said in the movie.
Well, we cut back up to the bathroom, and the fellas are still hiding in there, but the ladies, the two girls that they have crushes on, are like, wow, this is a wild party. Did you see that English lady? By the way, Lisa has an English accent. That's who they're talking about. She sure is pretty. She doesn't have any acne, and her butt's nice. Whatever they say. It's complimentary. And they end up needing to go powder their noses, and they go, of course, to the exact bathroom that Gary and Wyatt are in. And there a little hilarity ensues here because Gary's panicking because the room smells like poop, and they want to come in. So he's like, light a match, I don't know. And then he opens the door, and the girls are like, what are you doing in there? And Gary shouts, or Wyatt shouts, Gary just took.
I love that because it's like so uncharacteristic of Wyatt to say something like that. I love that he did that. It was a very unsung line of the movie for sure.
It's fantastic, man. Well, assuming the match worked, they let the girls in. And after Gary slaps Wyatt for his transgression, but in a friendly way. Now they invite the girls in, and they have a little bathroom hang sesh. You know what I mean? Like you do at a party. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Little post poop hangout sesh.
Let me ask this: what's the best bathroom hang sesh you guys have ever had at a party?
Ooh, today?
Well, you don't. I mean, if you had one today, I'd be interested in hearing about it. But you could pick from any time in your life,
I've had a
really.
couple today, but bathroom hang sesh. I'm trying to think if I ever actually had a bathroom hang sesh or anything that would even remotely come close to this. Because I remember watching this when I was a kid and thinking, "Who does this? How does this happen? Like, how do they stay in here? How do they play this off?" And it gets even better because the girls finally say, can you excuse us? And instead of leaving, the boys go into the shower and have one of the best classic conversations of this movie that has a line that I'm hoping we can spend some time deconstructing.
Oh, I want to get there for sure.
Yeah.
But they bond a little bit with the girls. We get a little quick cutaway to Lisa taking those tequila shots, and the bullies trying to kind of hit on her, and her being like, "I'm sorry, language that she uses, not the language I would use," but she says, "I belong to Gary and Wyatt." And they're like, "All right, we got to talk to Gary and Wyatt. We got to get to the bottom of this." Well, we cut back to the bathroom where they're continuing to bond. And as you said, they seem to kind of like each other a little bit. But the girls do say, "Hey, we want to just check our face. Could you give us some privacy?" And they just go into the shower stall in the bathroom. And this is where I think the boys give themselves a little bit of a pep talk. Now, there's a line in here, David, that you wanted to discuss, and I am all here for it.
So, first of all, I don't know if this is a reference. This has got to be a reference that hopefully the two of you know. But this is total Dragnet situation here with the two of them talking to each other.
Yeah.
But right towards the end, Anthony Michael Hall says something about, "I think these girls are looking for a long, lean bone job from me." and then he smiles, and for forever and ever, until just this last week, I never really truly knew what he said, because they're talking very fast, and I always thought to myself, did he say long, lean bone job? Like, it was a really strange phrase to me, and indeed, because I had subtitles on when I watched it this week, that is exactly what he says: long, lean bone job. And it's strange because he's talking about both of the girls, as though Wyatt's not right there. Like, Wyatt wants one of the girls. It seems kind of rude.
I would have never thought long, lean bone job was sexual in nature.
No, I just the lean adjective is what I have a problem with. It's just.
They're going to get a short, fat bone job out of me.
I'm not leaving the shower until they're gone, frankly. I'm uncomfortable with this whole bone job situation in general. I'm not a paleontologist. Now, they decide, okay, a 1, 2, 3 break. They giving each other the pep talk. They come up the edge of the shower door, and then it's two completely different girls that are kind of nerdy and not as pretty as the girls that they were interested in. Traditionally pretty. They're very beautiful on the inside and very beautiful to me.
It's a nice way of putting it. But yes, this falls into that category from like the 1970s through the early 90s where they cast people in movies, and I always wonder to myself, oh man, I wonder how they felt about being cast there.
I'll be honest, as long as the paycheck clears, I don't care. You could cast
fair.
me as the ugliest
I'd be like, just don't
dude.
name me in the credits. Just don't name me.
No, name me ugly guy. I don't care. It's fine. I have a mirror and eyeballs. I know what I look like, and I don't need your judgment. I'll just take the money and run. Now, they cut away to the girls who have escaped the bathroom with Wyatt and Gary, and they're kind of talking to Lisa, and she tells the girls, like, you should take a shower with those guys. It's mind-blowing. Man, that's it. That's the heart of that scene. And we cut away. And this is I love Wyatt's family situation, okay? Because we cut away to his grandparents who have very thick English accents, having dinner. And they're going to go visit Wyatt as long and short because they think he might be lonely. Great line here where they're like, well, nothing is more important to a teenage boy than their grandparents. Yeah. Hilarious.
That is a great John Hughes line. Now, that's a John Hughes line from like any one of John Hughes's movies. It is a classic. And when you say British, they are like, I mean, it's not just British accents. They're one step away from like good show. Like it's a lot.
They're like the upper crust, you know what I mean? The upper crust of their lip, by just right there. It's incredible. So they decide they're going to go see Wyatt. So we get a little foreshadowing there that maybe there's going to be some trouble. Well, we cut back to Wyatt's bedroom, and the bullies. Again, the discussion of ownership of women here would never fly today, but they want to borrow Lisa. And in exchange, they'll allow the boys to have the girls that they like, Deb and Hilly. And so they're having this conversation, and the boys are like, "Yeah, no, we can't do that. Lisa's loyal to us. We would never do that." And then we just a little quick cutaway to Gary's parents, who just don't remember that they have a son, which is pretty fun. But this is really just to give us an excuse for a little passage of time to set up the next scene, which is that the fellas have decided to make the bullies, even though they've mistreated them this entire time, their own Lisa, right? So we cut back, bras are on the head, ha ha ha, nice laugh. Again, I think these are sister bras, not mom bras, but maybe I'm wrong. And they're, in fact, trying to make a woman using the same means that they did before. Now, let me ask you this. It's important for the bros to like you. But, like, really, these guys, are you going to make a lady woman for them?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there because, like, these guys are total jerks, right? And then there's this one scene, which I actually think is kind of, like, pretty funny before they actually start making her, where they're trying to convince. One of the guys calls me and goes like, "Hey, come on, don't be such pricks." And Robert Downey Jr. has this subtle, like, "Hey, come on, don't let that crosses the line," calling them pricks. Like, everything they've done to them thus far in the movie is so beyond calling them that. But yeah, then they're like on board. I think Lisa ultimately says they're trying to show off and be cool with these guys and falling for their, fake friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it works. So all the weird science stuff starts to happen. Cats are laying down with dogs. Microwaves are flying out of the chimney. Some ladies' clothes get ripped off because, of course, they do. And she gets flung out into a pond. No one goes and checks on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very 1980s. And then and this goes on for a while. Like, this was just an excuse to put those effects in there. But eventually it settles down, and we cut back up to Wyatt's room, and there's a silhouette lighted in the doorway, and we think, oh no, there's a Lisa 2. But then it's just Lisa 1, and she's like, "You guys forgot something, didn't you? They forgot to hook up the doll." But what is hooked up instead?
I think like an ICBM missile
Yes.
on the cover of Time magazine.
Yes, which, frankly, the fact that Wyatt is reading Time at his age is super
Yeah,
impressive. And it brings this missile to life, and it sort of shoots up through their bedroom, through the upper stories of the house, out the top of the roof, and a dove of peace lands on it. Now, fellas, this is missiles look phallic, okay? There's no way to get around it, all right? It's popping up in a forceful manner out of a teen boy's bedroom, betwixt his twin beds, shooting up and out of the ceiling. It's dangerous, right? And a dove of peace lands on it. Now, I'm not good with metaphors. Could you guys tell me what you think that metaphor is for?
I was
The
just
Cold
about
War has to end.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking both the ICBM missile and Lisa both represented sort of meddling with science in a way that people shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's basically the Oppenheimer of its time.
That's true.
I want that. If they ever re-release this movie, that should be the tagline for it: the Oppenheimer of its time. Listen, Gorbachev, knock down that wall. That's all I've got to say. I don't know if that happened before or after this. Probably in the middle somewhere.
Also,
But
something else just hit me. Could be erections.
Oh, that's
whoa,
right.
Whoa,
Teenage boys get erections. That's true.
Could be that.
I
I don't
didn't
know.
think I'd be
I
saying
kind of like
that
our other
tonight
ideas
either.
better, but
Yeah, no, I don't think that adds up, Travis. That's not very good. That's no 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre quality right there. Well, we cut back to downstairs, and sure enough, Wyatt's grandparents have shown up, and they're suitably upset about this party situation. And I adore this scene. I actually rewound and watched this 3 times for the dialogue back and forth between the grandparents. It's hysterical.
It's one of my other favorite lines from the movie where he says that he won't stand for baloney.
He won't, you know?
He won't, you know. He doesn't stand for baloney.
It's so good. Watch the scene 2 or 3 times. Well, the long and short of that is Lisa zaps their brains and hides them in a cupboard, but we'll find that out in just a bit. Also, one thing that we kind of glossed over is Lisa does say that impactful line to the boys before pointing out they forgot to hook up the doll. Is like, you would do this for these guys? You've got to learn that people will like you for who you are, not what you can do for them. Dang. Hits hard, guys. Hits hard.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, the boys have went back into hiding in the bathroom. They still lack confidence after they see their I guess, well, I've kind of muddled a few things, but they come downstairs and see their grandparents have been zapped and hidden in the cupboard. Then they just go back to hiding in the bathroom just because they can't handle the social pressure. And Lisa comes up with an idea. She says, you know what I need to do? I need to give these fellas some confidence. What does she do? Does she get them some nicer new clothes? Does she give them a little pep talk? Does she maybe get them a little bit of therapy? No. She uses her magic godlike powers to zap up some post-apocalyptic bikers.
yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. If this wasn't a nod to the fact that Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome came out this very same year, I don't know what is. Like, I think some of these actors may have been in that movie.
In fact, the head. Well, first of all, you have the Hills Have Eyes actor. I can't remember what his name is. That's one of
Michael
these
Berryman.
bikers. Michael Berryman. Thank you.
He's still around.
He's still around. Yeah.
Yeah.
They come smashing in the house. The head of all of these bikers, and this pandemonium just goes on for a while. They were just having fun shooting these action scenes and getting a
Bikes
few
going
one-on-
upstairs, bikes going downstairs.
going sideways
Crazy.
on stairs. There's a lot of bikes on stairs in this.
A lot of
movie.
bikes and stairs.
It
Yeah.
looks like a
None of the
lot of
bikes
stunts
do.
here, too, that probably so dangerous by today's standards in terms of movies. Like,
Oh,
I
they are.
in a
They're
room
whipping
with
these-
a running motorcycle.
Yeah. Or like just whipping it around in a room full of people. Like it just takes one slip of a tire to, just like that, and some 15-year-old kid's dead. But eventually, we meet the head biker, who is in the credits referred to as the Lord General, and he's actually played by an actor that played one of the main villains in Mad Max Road Warrior, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the guy with the mohawk. I mean, it's all and it's almost a not a one-to-one recreation of the character, except they don't use the name. But he's got like the mohawk and the face paint and kind of the whole 9 yards. The character's name's like Vez or Vec or something like that. Right now,
Vec, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, thank you, Travis, because I was gonna say our mutual friend Burger Champ is like his face is melting off because I can't remember the name of the pop culture thing because he just Burger knows.
He doesn't
everything.
respect you anymore.
He doesn't. I don't think I don't know if he respected me to begin with, but one can hope I'll earn it back by at least knowing this little tidbit. But he comes in, he kind of gains control of the room, and the boys, once they realize what's going on, they just go hide in a closet. They leave their bathroom for a closet, and Lisa tries to give them a pep talk. She's like, "Hey, you need to go handle these bad guys. They're terrorizing your guests, and you need to kick them out." And they're screaming and shooting guns and all kinds of wild stuff. But they just keep closing the door, like, "Yeah, we're not doing that. Not happening." Eventually, one of these bikers just rips one of them, I think it's Wyatt, through the wall to bring him into the scene, which is my favorite way to be brought into a scene, just being ripped through a wall. The Lord General, who is the head of these apocalyptic bikers, just takes the opportunity to roast them in front of all of their friends. I don't mean like he puts them on a spit of fire and tries to kill them. No, he does like a Comedy Central style roast of them, which to me is worse. I would rather die than be roasted by a post-apocalyptic biker when I was 15 years old about tossing off into a book. That seems tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, this is basically a speech built off of all of the awkward things we've already heard about them throughout the entire movie. Tossing off, showering with a beautiful woman, and having to wear their pants. I mean, by today's standards, I think this wouldn't be the worst bullying that could possibly happen, but yeah, bullying for sure.
Well, they take that on the chin. They have some great quips leading up to this when they're in the closet too. There's one about Wyatt's like, "Do you think we're chicken?" And Gary's like, "Dude, I would put an egg out of my butt right now if I could." Some great one-liners in there. But they take this roast on the chin. They're used to being insulted at school. But then, the Lord General makes a mistake. He lays hands on the ladies that they have a crush on. And that's when it gets real. Wyatt and Gary pop away, and they go like full action movie. They're like, "We're going to die on this one, aren't we?" "Yeah, we are. Let's do this thing." Like, they hype each other up. They've got like a pep talk prepared. There's not even a mention of like a lean bone job in this, though. But it's the same kind of dynamic. You know what I mean?
At this point, they got to think that, like, if she can conjure up biker men from Mars, she's probably not going to let them die. She could magically save them, so they might as well nut up and find the confidence, right?
That's fair. I don't know that they're relying on that, but they do definitely they pivot into kind of a Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys sort of vibe going on. Like in a second, they go from being completely terrified, and yeah, it's what it's for love.
For love.
I love the bad guys' reactions, though. They're like, "Oh, okay. Damn, I didn't know it meant that much."
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody about this. I'm a teacher or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they sort of don't give the boys any slack until Gary pulls out a gun that I guess he got from Lisa at some point, and it's the same model revolver or whatever that we think is going to be the water pistol. And they back down once they see the gun. And as Travis mentioned, they just politely leave, and it is hilarious. Like they're like, "I'm so sorry. Let's have lunch sometime. Hey, can we keep this between us? I don't want to lose my teaching job. God bless you."
It is
so funny.
It was one of the best choices in the movie to have each of those three people have those lines because they are. It is hilarious.
It's so good.
Yeah, so good.
So they sort of leave, and then Gary is whipping this gun around because he thinks it's a water pistol, and then it actually fires and shoots a chandelier off the ceiling. And then that's the moment when the ladies are like, "You know what? we got a thing for those fellas.
Look
We
at
don't
these
need
bad
gun
boys.
safety. Yeah, they're bad boys.
Everybody's ducking as he's just swishing the gun around the room.
So
Yeah, I wondered about this myself because he accidentally shoots the gun, right?
yeah.
And it does cut to them right after that. Like, the boys are still kind of freaked out. They kind of look at each other. I don't know if they're turned on by them now or what. And then there's the obligatory cut to Kelly LeBrock, probably filmed weeks later, I think. Sitting at a table. That's my boys. You know?
She's like, good job, fellas. Well, we cut to the next scene, and this is these next two scenes are just where the fellas are getting the girls. You know, Hilly comes up to Wyatt, and Ian's old news. He's a mistake. That was one of the bullies, and she wants a kissy kiss, and he says, "Where do you want it?"
As you ask, you know, you need to be specific.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then we get
Bold
a cutaway
question.
to Deb. She asks Gary how he feels about Lisa, and you know, is inquiring as to whether he might be interested in her. And he's like, "Well, I love her, but you know, it's like a sister. It's like a sister thing, you know." And she says, "Well, she's beautiful." And Gary, I guess, has divulged to her at this point that like he somehow helped create her or whatever. And this is the smoothest line I've ever heard in a movie. Gary straight up looks at her and he says, "You know, she's what I thought I wanted when I didn't know what I wanted. But if I could do it again, I'd make the perfect woman just like you." Dude.
Damn.
It is quite the line.
He's got bars.
I think that line is like end of his transition to coolness, as I've been saying the whole time. Like, it is the most suave line in so many different movies. But yeah, he delivers it. And of course, I think she instantly kisses him right after that. And then after that one initial kiss, they pull back in for another kiss. It's the dream. It's the fantasy come true.
But with no Kevin. So, I mean,
Well,
is it a
I
fantasy?
picked him up
That's
afterwards.
true.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
You did?
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
actually, it's a stagecoach. I picked him up at a stagecoach this time. That's how it is. But well, we see this beautiful romantic scene, and we cut to the next day, and of course, Chet's got to come home. You know, he's got to come home and ruin this whole thing. And he walks in. I guess he's been out duck hunting, and just to belabor the point, he walks in with a shotgun and a dead duck. So you're like,
Yeah.
easy there, Elmer Fudd. We don't need all the examples.
Dude, Elmer Fudd was something I said out loud when he came on screen while I was watching this. That's perfect.
A dead duck that he also had in the passenger seat of his truck.
Just
I
laying in
imagine
the
he was
seat.
talking to it on the way back, you know? Like he was like, you know, this my little brother. He is just driving me crazy, you know?
Also, did I miss, when did he leave? Like, did they establish that at all? Like, he
Nah.
was just okay.
They didn't show him leaving, but like, you know, they just acknowledged that he was away for a little bit. I think they might have even said duck hunting. I don't know.
I mean,
But
I don't
they
know
just-
why I'm pointing out the plot holes in this movie, but that one stuck with me. Not to mention,
But science holds up.
the science does hold up, but the grandparents should still technically be in the pantry during the end credits, in my opinion, but I don't think they are.
Oh, good point.
I mean, maybe they are. We just don't know. Well, Chet sees the house in disarray. He's very angry. His room is snowing. There's snowing in his room, so he's literally going through the house with a shotgun to murder his brother. And he goes into Wyatt's room, but Gary's sleeping in there with Deb, and he just begins assaulting them with a shotgun and hitting them in the face to try to find his little brother. But you know what, man? Gary's a ride or die. He's like, I don't know where he is. Not going to find out from me, Chet. So anyway, eventually Chet is done harassing them. Doesn't get the information he wants. He does threaten their lives and their mobility for the future, I believe. And eventually he finds Wyatt with Hilly, and he's sort of roughhousing him and shaking him up and threatening him. Oh, by the way, they were in the sisters' room where they got the bras. And they...
You love a good sister bra. It says something about you.
It seems less creepy than mother bras, and I can't tell you
Does
why.
it?
I mean, neither's good. Neither's
know.
good.
I think an adult bra is going to be better.
But he's a kid too, though.
I still think that's better. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well, I agree to disagree. Both are creepy. I'm not falling on the wrong side of this. I'm just saying there's one that's
let's
slightly
agree to
worse
not
than
be creepy.
You're just
David,
saying
where
there's
do you
no
weigh in
rights.
on this
There's
bra situation?
The bra situation, I'm going to stick with, I think it's mom bra. It feels like a mom bra scenario. Although I have to say, at one point, them and the two bullies, all four of them had bras on their heads. So it's a pretty decent supply of bras.
There's quite a few. Well, eventually, Gary says, hey, Chet, stop beating me up and trying to murder me. We made a lady named Lisa. I'll introduce you to her. So they end up downstairs where Lisa is. And Chet goes to the cupboard to get something and sees his grandparents frozen in there, zapped. And it's pretty funny. Again, Bill Paxton on
Was that my
fire in this entire scene. And eventually, Chet gives Wyatt a wedgie and kind of assaults him in front of Lisa, and she's like, all right, that's enough. Boys, you go take your girls home. Me and Chet are going to have a talk. And as soon as they leave, Chet's like, I'd like to butter your muffin.
Yeah. Well, it's because she made a good breakfast before. And he was like, I liked your muffins. Could have used a little bit more butter. If speaking, honestly from the bottom of my heart, but it was a great breakfast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he was talking about. Otherwise, he would have said something with the word lean in it, like lean bacon, long lean bacon jaw.
Wow. David, I'm impressed you tied those two together. That was solid work.
Man, full circle.
Well, Lisa says, hey, why do you have to be so awful? You're going to be nice to them. And we get the feeling that Lisa may or may not do something to Chet. We know something bad's going to happen to him. Well, we cut away to see the boys taking the ladies home. We get to see Gary first taking his lady Deb home, and there's just a not needed at all Ferrari police chase scene that happens. I guess they're like, you know what, we haven't had in this movie yet? Car chase.
with some great stunt doubles, by the way.
Oh yeah, those wigs, man. Those, and there's a lot of, you were talking about the plot hole about the parents. This is something that I find unbelievable, is that a teen boy could drive an 80s Ferrari this well. Those things, they didn't handle,
Not to mention
the outrageous. He's driving like Dale Earnhardt.
Shortest train ever in the history of the planet Earth. They just barely missed the train. It stops the cops. A split second later, the train's gone. And it's so
just a loose caboose.
It's so quick that you'd think, well, the cops could still chase him. He's just right there on the other side of the train still.
Yeah, and he gets out of the car and is like running around the cop car just mad he can't get over there. I will say, I want to take this moment to say, listen, guys, you can't outrun a train, okay? If the safety barriers are down, just stop. It is entirely too dangerous. They are going faster than you think they are. So
this is Train Safety Podcast. Okay. I appreciate you, Kev.
That's 90% of my job here.
They also they take the time to go back to the bit where Gary's father doesn't know him one last time. Yeah. They go back to that well.
Thank you. Yeah, they drive by him and he doesn't even really remember he has a son. And I like to think that continued for the rest of the movie, and then Gary just now lives with Wyatt's family.
Yeah.
He got out of that bunker house he was living in, At Hilly's house, we don't get a car chase scene for Wyatt and Hilly, but we do get a smoochy smooch and a butt grab.
Gotta have a butt grab
that Wyatt does with Hilly, and I love this. I kind of like this scene. It's so, to me, very quintessentially 80s. They do the kiss, and she walks up to the door. She's got this big smile on her face. They're in love only the way frickin' teenagers can be in love. You don't see 50-year-olds in love like this. No, they're floating on a cloud, and then the sprinklers kick on and he shouts, I love you. That's some 80s right there.
Speak for yourself. I proclaimed my love to my wife just the other day, standing in the sprinklers outside.
It was cold as hell, but he did it.
Dave, she's not going to listen to this. You don't have to.
Oh my God.
Actually, one of my favorite memories of David was singing karaoke to his wife, and it was as smooth as Gary hitting her with that line about her being the perfect woman. Like, my man was up there.
Oh, I don't know if that was that smooth. I thought you were about to say it was about as smooth as like like a big plate of dirt.
There was swooning in that room, David. I heard it, okay? But speaking of swooning, back at Deb's house, Gary finally confesses to her. He's like, look, I'm not this cool. Like, that's not my car. I'm just a big doofus. And she's like, why are you telling me this? I was actually liking you. No, she doesn't say that. And he's like, why are you telling me this? He's like, I want you to like me for who I am. And she's like, I do. And then they smooch or do again.
Mm-hmm.
I have to hats off to Anthony Michael Hall too for the acting. This is the closest any of the characters of this entire movie comes to a real human being. Like the way he's admitting to not being that cool. It feels like it's straight out of Breakfast Club in terms of like the sincerity with which he's delivering these lines.
Oh man. Well, we cut back to Wyatt's, and to me, and we can disagree on this. Travis and I had some debate about this, but
I'm here for it.
He looks. Chet has been turned into something, a creature of some kind. To me, I thought he was like just a giant pile of poop. I thought
Same
she
here.
just okay. Thank you.
Same, but I've thought that my entire life. In fact, when we talked about coming on the podcast, we were gonna watch this movie. I was thinking all the poop emoji jokes that I could make. And then I watched it these last couple nights, and I thought, I think he's a frog or some sort of amphibious creature. Like if you look at his back, well, first of all, he eats a fly at one point, very frog-like with a big long tongue. If you look at his back, it's almost snake-like and reptilian, if you will. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm sorry to say, I've lived my entire life under the confusion that he was a pile of crap.
But there's so much farting noise and like bowel movement sounds.
Yeah, and at one point someone does say something effectively, metaphorically, like he's, a pirate or something like that. But maybe that's what confused me. But yeah, he just seemed like a big ball of grossness. But I don't know. There's legs, there's arms, and flies flying around. I don't know. What were you thinking, Trav?
I just thought gross creature, just generic. They just try to make him ugly and gross. And
Travis, let me speak your language, okay? I'm going to try to bring you around to the poop side of things. Conker's Bad Fur Day. What boss does he look like from that game?
I haven't played that game, Kev.
Oh my god! All right, never mind.
Is it the poop boss? Is it the poop boss?
Yeah, it's the poop boss. It's the poop.
Okay.
Boss. Yeah, that's the
strong argument.
Poop.
Strong argument.
Thank you.
Well researched.
He's a reptilian frog pile of crap. We'll leave it at that. But in order to be turned back into a normal being, Lisa has told Chet that he has to be nice to his brother. So they come in and they don't initially recognize him. And then he starts apologizing to Wyatt and telling him he loves him and actually just being nice to him. Now, before we actually get this scene, the fellas commiserate about being in love, and they decide that they need to have the talk with Lisa and say that they can't all have a polyamorous relationship together anymore because now they have girlfriends. So that's what they're coming inside to do. And so they head upstairs to have this conversation with Lisa, but she's already a few steps ahead of them. She kind of knows what's up. And she's like, you guys found girlfriends, right? And they're like, yeah. We're sorry. Does that hurt your feelings? And she's like, yeah, but I'm kind of getting off on you two getting your act together. And I was like, does that mean the same thing I think it means in England?
You tossing off to what, lady?
It's a strange scene. There's a lot of emotion in this scene that I don't remember recognizing as a kid. And it doesn't feel as earned as it seems to be like they're selling it. But yeah, there's a lot of like welling up on everybody's part here.
Yeah, there's real tears being shed on set. I wonder if they filmed this on the last day and you all get to be friends while you're filming and stuff. And so there's crying, there's hugging, there's kissing. And then Lisa goes back into the bathroom from whence she came, and whoosh, Mary Poppins is away in a plume of smoke. And everything in the house is getting put back together. Books are flying back on the shelves. The disarray is going away just in time for Wyatt's parents to come back. And this is classic parents coming home from a wild a weekend with their kid, or where a wild weekend has happened at their house. They're like, what'd you boys do? Nothing much. Ha ha. And then they head upstairs.
Yeah, I like the touch too. Is like the moment they walk in the door, that last little bit of table is sliding back into place.
So good.
Just as the door opens. It's got a very. This is reminiscent of like, was it Risky Business that with Tom Cruise, where like the house was a wreck and they had to fix it too? Is yeah, this is a classic scene.
It's fantastic. And they, the parents kind of, mom's like, your dad had a suspicion you guys might have a party. And like, nope, we didn't do that. Oh, I love too that Wyatt goes to hug his dad here. He's like, no, shake my hand like a man. What's wrong?
Yeah,
That's 80s dad.
I started to understand where Chet came from when I heard that.
I mean, my dad never hugged me, but that's just because he didn't love me. Anyway,
sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that, but your delivery is always so good.
Oh, thanks, Travis. Thank you.
Oh man.
Anyway, they head upstairs, and we think the movie's over, but nope, we get one last little tidbit, and I just love this little tidbit. We cut to the school, which, by the way, this school is used in like this exterior shot is used in just like a ton of movies. Apparently, it was some abandoned high school in the California area.
Oh.
We see a boys' gym class kind of getting themselves together, and then we hear the music, that Oingo Boingo song, and we get a just as the first shot in the film we see of Lisa from the shoes up kind of shot. She's wearing this sort of sexy gym teacher outfit, and she's, I guess, the new gym teacher for the boys' class. I'm concerned about that, but we'll just let it go for now. And she says, drop and give me 20. They all faint. She looks at the camera and gives it a little wink. You can't beat that, y'all.
A little wink before a freeze frame for the credits.
Yes.
Which is classic 1980s.
Damn, that gym class would be so fucking competitive, dude. It would just
People would die in that gym class.
Yeah, it would be rough. You would not want to be in there. It would be like Normandy every day.
By the way, I think that image of Kelly LeBrock was effectively almost like the Farrah Fawcett poster of the 70s for the mid-80s. Like, I think that image was on many a college dorm room wall.
So say it had like a Pepsi commercial flavor to it. Like, it was
and
very marketable.
Very weirdly, like, those sneakers are just so like Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future, and like it just 1985. I just go back to it, 1985. I can't believe you guys have spent so much time on 1986 and completely overlooked 1985.
Well, now, I don't know if you know this. We are beholden to randomly pulling movies out of a bin. Okay, so and
that's true.
We think maybe Doug has been trying to send us some sort of message about with all these 1986. I'm sorry, UD has been trying to send us a. Sorry,
Udi.
Travis.
Udi. Udi. It's like Tootie. It's a facts of life joke. That's why I had the DVD in the first place.
So
like
good.
duty.
Okay, Travis. Really, he's not Chet. Okay, settle down. But anyway, that's it, guys. We made it through the movie. What are the impressions, David? I'm really curious because you love this movie as a teen, as a young adult, as they say nowadays. What are your impressions of this movie as a grown man?
Well,
strong
I will say,
in his opinions.
Let's just set aside the fact that there are certain things again that don't hold up in terms of like being quote unquote appropriate. With that said, like I said earlier, the stuff that I loved about this movie, it still holds up. A lot of the performances in this, the comedic performances in this movie are really good. In fact, you'd mentioned it earlier. Kelly LeBrock didn't end up being in too many movies. And and certainly not a lot of comedic movies. And she's really quite funny in this. She's not like just the beautiful woman who can't really act very well. She definitely has some comedic chops, I think, in the delivery of some of her lines. Now, her lines were written well, too. But she was good. Anthony Michael Hall's good. Both the bullies are good. Even the Robert Rustler guy, not RDJ. Wyatt, maybe a weaker link, but again, he's just playing the awkward aw shucks character that we can all relate to. But yeah, I like it. Holds up. Oh, and Bill Paxton. Like, I didn't look at IMDb, but I'm guessing this had to have been one of the very earliest projects for Bill Paxton.
It was, yeah. I mean, he still got killed by both aliens and a predator in in the 80s. So, I mean, he had a wild time in the 80s. You can't beat Bill Paxton.
No, I was just gonna say the closest other character that Bill Paxton's ever played is the used car salesman in True Lies. Like,
Yes.
it's almost like Chet grown up. Is that
It really
character.
is. I was thinking that earlier because we did True Lies maybe a season ago.
What about you, Travis? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I echo a lot of that. I think you got to kind of look past what's considered modern cringe, but it's definitely fun. I think of the John Hughes movies, I would consider it maybe the most, if I could just use the word fun. The rest of them are obviously, I say the rest of them, but a good number of them are iconic for a number of other reasons. But this is one that's just always a feel-good, fun time, right? There's not a lot of high stakes to it. It's got a great soundtrack, tons of Oingo Boingo.
Tons of Oingo Boingo. Tons of one song from Oingo Boingo.
Yes.
They do pack it in, what, like 3 times? 2-3 times?
Oh, yeah, they do. Just ask Frankenweenie.
Yeah, well, Frankenweenie's all about it. But yeah, Anthony Michael Hall, I think this was probably my favorite Hughes movie that he's in.
Oh,
he really
wow.
steals the show.
That's a bold
Or my
statement.
favorite performance from him in a Hughes movie.
Okay.
Was 16 Candles Hughes? That wasn't Hughes, was it?
Yeah, that was
I think it was, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's an impressive friendship they had.
I will say, for me, there are very few modern comedies that I watch and actually laugh out loud. Like, I'll do a little chuckle, like, that's pretty good. That's a good one. I laughed out loud several times during this movie on a rewatch, because I have seen this, obviously, quite a few times. It's funny. It's a good one. I think this is one that I don't know if it has the staying power to be the next Citizen Kane, but like, it's definitely
not.
worth a rewatch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have to say nostalgia is playing a pretty significant role for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I hear that scene when they're in the bar, I mean, if I were watching that for the first time, maybe I wouldn't find it as funny. I clearly found Anthony Michael Hall's sort of jive character less funny this time.
Yes.
At this stage in life. But yeah, it's a good one.
Well, Travis, how about who cares what we think? I know I don't.
Sure.
Why don't you
Yeah.
hit us with some of those post-credit reviews?
Yeah, we saved some for the end, ones that get a little bit more into the plot. We don't want to spoil what Kev's got cooked up for you. So now that we're on the other side of that, we got 5 stars from Madeline. This is from way back 2018. Madeline says, I wrote a critical essay in college deconstructing this film and comparing/contrasting it to Bride of Frankenstein, especially on what both have to say about the quote-unquote idealized woman. I got an A. This movie's great. I mean, it's terrible, but it's great. One of Hughes's funniest, I'd say.
Was it a PhD dissertation, or was she just saying like, oh no, I just did a paper?
I don't know.
I'm unimpressed. I'm unimpressed unless it was unless she had to argue it. Okay.
I just don't know how you write a paper with that topic and then you come away still love. It feels like you would have your opinion might be in the other direction on this, but kudos to them for having an open mind and still enjoying the film.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I have a hard time listening to Travis read these.
Sorry.
I lose track of the words that you're saying, and I get lost in the character that you're creating.
Travis is going to be like, David needs to be on every episode. This is more compliments than I've given him in the 57 years we've known each other now. So
It's true. Kev, you're fired.
Kevin paid me to do all that.
yeah, I have to backdoor you, Travis.
Well, let's not do that.
Giving you compliments that way, I mean.
Easiest $175 I've ever made.
Man, that's $513 in 1985 money. All right. I mean, then we got a 3.5 star here from Joe Lynch. Look him up on LinkedIn. This is from July of 2018. He says, man, this movie is a little dated.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. But I mean,
I still liked it enough, 3.5.
Yeah, I think most movies don't hold up to modern sensibilities. You just kind of got to put that to the side and just, like those fellas did, just go for the ride.
Yeah.
It is interesting, though, how this is so dated compared to The Breakfast Club, which I
Right.
think probably feels so less dated in many respects. But wow.
I agree with that. Then we got now we're into the people that had a hard time. They didn't enjoy the movie.
Uh-oh.
We got a 1 star from a guy named The Culture Shocker. Real edgy guy. Probably listens to Stained. This is April 2019.
Easy. Stain's really good, bud.
He says, yeah, this movie is really stupid and pretty gross in retrospect. John Hughes, you're better than this. Shame on you. Just watch The Breakfast Club instead.
All right, look, that perfectly fine service review. I was struggling with the name The Culture Shocker to come up with like a 2 in the pink, 1 in the opera. Like I was just trying to chase it, and I couldn't find one, fellas. So I feel like I let the team down here. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Somebody with that username makes fun of themselves.
Exactly.
Then we got a half star here from a 1 Cameron back in 2018.
Is that Cameron with a C or a K?
That's with a C.
Okay. All right.
And it says, what if an incel manifesto was adapted into a movie? Then shrug emoji.
But they're voluntarily celibate. They don't engage in intercourse with her. So at least they're a volcel. I mean,
you know a lot of the terminology.
Not to quibble, but I think that's worth mentioning.
All right. Well, Cameron seems miserable. I just wanted to point that out.
Well, I mean,
I would
despite
agree.
being teenage boys, okay, notoriously bad decision makers, selfish in many ways, these two fellas do the best they can to try to be decent and end up being pretty darn decent, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
and they don't even have a 4chan account.
she had an Albert Einstein brain, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Right.
just
Yeah, it was-
about the body, you
It
know?
was a well-rounded creation for sure.
Yeah.
And while I'm at it, she's also incredibly powerful. Like she is again a godlike figure. All right, and they say, oh well, they control her, but they don't really. They tell her to stop doing stuff, but she just keeps doing what she wants.
Yeah, that is true. You don't have to defend it anymore, Kevin. Moving on. Then we've got a 1 star from Kate, and that is with a C, Kevin. Believe it or not.
All right.
That is Kate with a C.
I appreciate that.
2021. This one, I like this one a lot. They really had the ability to customize a woman, and they chose to make her British?
Take that. Yeah, 1776.
1 star from that. That was the worst thing about the movie to them. They were like, British woman? No way.
I feel like Kate put a 1 star just so people would read her joke.
Yeah, I think so too.
Potentially. But that's all I got, Kev.
Oh, right on, man. Those are fantastic. Travis, again, you do a great job. You're so pretty.
Thank you.
And supple.
You guys are both getting $175 for everybody. This is great. No, this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, guys, on a budget of $7.5 million, the film went on to gross over $38 million worldwide and be carved into the Mount Rushmore of awkward but wonderful raunchy teen comedies. It's a notoriously short list. Now, the film was a bit of a departure for John Hughes, as it didn't have the heart of his other teen-focused films like The Breakfast Club, which came out the same year. Thanks for mentioning that, David. But it did have nudity. So there is that. While it got mixed reaction from critics, audiences fully embraced the zany premise and the hijinks. My God, people, the hijinks!
So much.
Weird Science even had a TV series that I remember entirely too well that aired on Sci-Fi and USA. While perhaps not making the top 10 list of greatest works of cinema art, over time, Weird Science has developed a cult following, with many appreciating it as a quintessential 80s romp, loved for more its charm than its critical acclaim. That's what I think.
Yeah, but it's getting its roses today.
That's right. Well, any closing thoughts?
I have it may be an unorthodox request, but I have one last 6 degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Would it be completely inappropriate to have one more before the end?
No, I'm excited. Bring it.
What if I told you I could connect Tootie from Facts of Life to this movie?
Is it through Rob Russler?
It is.
Well, I tell you what, before you do it, if you can do it, and it seems like maybe even Travis could do it as well, we don't yet have an Uncle Doug, a UD. Yudi, Hall of Fame, but you could be our first inductee.
Yeah, so far it's in the running.
I think Robert Russler should be, because he was in the Facts of Life with Tootie and the rest of the Facts of Life crowd. And I have to say, truth be told, it was season 6.
Whoa! Oh my God!
Wait, man, that's like Duckstradamus stuff right
It
there.
really is, man.
And if you haven't seen that episode, you gotta watch it. He plays like this punk rock musician when the girls are on spring break and there's a hurricane.
That's incredible. Well, listen, you have officially been inducted into the UD Hall of Fame, and your enamel pin is in the mail. I'll get that out just as soon as we have some.
Man,
That's
insane.
It's so good,
Coincidentally.
right? Well, Travis, how about a little hint? Well, Travis, just let me know when you want to do the hint for the next movie that we're covering.
Sorry, I was doing my vocal warm-ups. What did you want? The hint for the next movie?
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry
Get
about it.
over here. How about that? All right,
Okay,
whatever.
It's terrific. Yeah, it's fine.
Just finish it.
Yep, we will do that. You guys is so good. I'll have to explain how I got the DVD on the next episode. It was disturbing and strange. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, you might like our other podcast. You can catch me on the board gaming podcast Blue Peg, Pink Peg, or on stage doing improv comedy with Big Lick Conspiracy in the Roanoke area sometimes. You can catch Travis on all his other podcasts like Polykill, Tales of the Lesser Median, and even on his YouTube channel, Nesfriend. Hey, and speaking of that YouTube, you can catch David on his YouTube channel, Man vs. Meeple. And if you want to keep this podcast with chips, dips, chains, and whips, support the Polymedia Network on Patreon. We also have got to thank our pal Harvest Black for that electrifying theme music. And just like some guy always says...
So what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Two teens with genius and a wild dream built the perfect girl, or so it seemed. With lightning, magic, and a wild surprise, she flipped their world and opened their eyes. From geeks to heroes, they found their might, all thanks to Lisa and one crazy night.